something to muse over. So one of the other things from the Toltec gender perspective is about the difference between men and women. And from the Toltec perspective, perhaps the easiest way for you to understand it is it's all about balls. It's all about balls. You know, the universe loves to make things in balls. It likes to make planets in balls. It likes to make moons. It likes to make suns. It likes to build all sorts of things in balls and shapes and spheres and concentric rings and all sorts like that. You'll find it all over the place, from atoms right the way up to planets. And in humans is no different. And so we all do indeed have a set of balls on us. But unlike planets or suns, which only have one, we have two. Which is one of the great mysteries of gender and of life, is that we, the perambulators, get two. And the difference between the man and the woman of the species is that it's about where your balls are. And the female, or the woman, has the balls on the inside of her body cavity, and we call them ovaries. And the man and male has the balls on the outside of the body cavity, and we call them testes, or just balls. Now, there's a very famous quote by an actress, Betty White, which goes along the lines of, "Why do people say if you want to get tough to grow some balls? Balls are weak and sensitive. If you want to get tough, grow a vagina. Those things take a pounding." And, you know, it's a funny joke. It's good. It's witty, based on how women view the balls position, and how some femi-men do as well. But really, it's not gender insight by a country mile, and it's loaded with false comparisons in there. Of course, if you're looking at a man and you're looking for strength and something that can take a pounding, it's certainly not his balls you would look at. And he certainly has a capacity to work his other limbs up into a state where they are most certainly not sensitive and most certainly can take a pounding. So I think Betty had to look all over the body of the male to find something she could poke fun at for its weakness and its sensitivity. And of course, the balls are well known to all of us as being sensitive, but they are not weak. Not by a long shot. They are not weak. They are immensely powerful. They are immensely sensitive. And it is in fact because of the sensitivity of the balls on the outside of the body cavity that men are so externally stimulated, visually stimulated, and also so adept at both problem solving and being sensitive to things in the world around them. Women, on the other side, carry the sensitivity of these balls, which are just as sensitive, but they are carried on the inside of the body cavity in the form of ovaries. So in a way, the sensitivity of a woman's balls are buffered by her body cavity and all her organs, which is perhaps why women can't understand why men are so sensitive about certain things but not about others, and why men can't understand why women are so sensitive about certain things. And it's because they have the full sensitivity of the balls on the inside of their body cavity, picking up on all the rich feelings that are going on in there. And these two differences, balls on the inside and balls on the outside, are pretty much what the fractal difference that lies behind the differences between men and women. And this is why men tend to be more object and visual, and women tend to be more subjective and feeling based, and it's all because of the balls. In a way, you could say that the man could be saying, "I feel everything in the world around me." And that gasping sensitivity, which most mums I've encountered are surprised at. Most mums are surprised at finding how sensitive their young boys are compared to the girls. And it's because the gasping sensitivity of the balls on the outside of the body give that to boys. You know, whereas to the female, to the woman, she's like, "I feel everything in the world within me." Because of that sensitivity of the balls within, giving her everything that's happening in the feeling side. This balls on the outside thing for men is quite important for the men out there who feel challenged in masculinity, and they feel challenged as to find out what it is to be a man in the new world, and they have dismissed so much of traditional masculine values, where they have, as far as I'm concerned, thrown the baby out with the bathwater, because we have this gynocentric worldview now that means that traditional ways of making a strong male have been binned to be replaced with an untested female's opinion on what a man should be like and what he should behave like. And we have this really funny thing where if men decided to try and tell women what they should be like and what a good woman is and how she should behave, the roar from the women would be heard as far as Pluto. And yet what we have is all these pleasing femi-men and boys in men's body fawning and adulating and falling at the feet of women who are dictating what they think a man should or could be. And all these fawning femi-men are going, oh yes, yes, please, we'll do that, we'll become that, rather than roaring their indignation at the ludicrousness of the position. Now, there is nothing wrong with the sexes taking counsel from each other, hearing the experience of each other, but to bow to each other's demands, to bow to each other's expectations is surely a fool's game. And certainly what I have seen is any man that I have seen bow to the gynocentric feminist narrative that has been in existence ever since I was a child, and that includes myself. I did this, which is, I, amongst many other nice guys, femi guys, what I mean by a femi guy is men who elevate the feminine, men who adulate the feminine, men who view the feminine as perhaps superior or better than men. And even if they don't view that, they certainly, even if they claim to be equal-minded, they certainly are happy to be on the back foot while women take charge of everything for a while, rather than a true equal position. These men are dangerous, and they're dangerous because they mislead other men and they mislead women into thinking that their demands are reasonable, and that by meeting those demands, happiness and mutual power can be found.